I'd like to call to order the City of Dayton Parks Commission meeting, 7 January. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right side. On the right side.
Mixing things up on it. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, approval of agenda. Any addition, changes, deletions to the agenda? All right, hearing none, entertain a motion to approve the proposed agenda items.
All motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, opposed, same sign. On to the consent agenda. Entertain a motion for the Parks Commission minutes from November 2025. Entertain a motion.
Nope.
Entertain a
I
motion.
wasn't here. I wasn't here, so I felt like I could.
I'll move to approve.
You Kyle? Okay, it was just the three of us.
Yeah.
Everything I read looked good, so I'm assuming that the print is the same as the
I'll
email.
second it. All in favor? Opposed? All right, on to open forum. Anybody online?
We don't have online tonight.
Sad.
Is this being recorded then for future?
It's been recorded,
It's been
but
recorded.
we don't have the Zoom link set up tonight.
Okay. Council update. Councilman Slonik.
I don't really have much to add, other than I'm sure you're all aware that we're still looking at, I think we're going to try and get it done later this month, I think, for the equipment, what we can get for the value for Stevens Park. There's a number there that council approved to spend, and the list of items as far, how far that'll take us. So,
Cool.
that's really about all I
Just
got.
a number, they weren't thinking of parking lot, bandstand.
Yeah, how much we can get for that
Okay.
amount of money.
So I do have MSA working up on the plans to see what we can get for the council number. They're looking at all the different areas that we were identified with the parking lot and the cover for the bandstand, the dance floor and splash pad and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so they're going to pull some numbers together to see what we can actually do, and then the council, it'll be presented back to the council, and they will pick what items they need to meet their budget.
When will that go before the council?
It will go at the second meeting in January.
What was the number that the council agreed upon to spend?
1.75.
1.7.
Well, 1.5, but
Yeah.
there's a little fudge factor there too.
Yeah.
So if they approve it by the end of January, would we be breaking ground on anything?
It's probably not going to be until 2027.
I would say.
I wouldn't say, I wouldn't write that in stone.
Not even the parking lot?
I think parking lot was one of the last items.
Yeah. I think let's see what we
Yeah.
settle on, and if we can get it done this year. I think we got. Yeah, it depends on how long it takes to pull the plans and specs together. If we can get it out to bid. But there is a possibility that we'll get it this year, but I'm not going to guarantee that. But
Is
we'll
it-
push for that.
Bid period 60 days or 90 days?
It can be anything from 30 days upwards.
Okay. Just thinking.
We
of all
generally do
events.
30 days.
Okay. Fantastic. Anything else? Good,
Nope.
sir. All right. Marty, you have anything?
I only have one item. Elizabeth is out. She did have her baby on the 30th of December. 30th of December.
Got it
His
in the
name's
year.
Theodore. Huh?
She got it in 25.
Yeah. And 30th, and he weighed 9 pounds 11 ounces.
Oh, nice.
Good boy.
Big one.
Yeah,
Awesome.
a big guy. So yeah, she's going to be out for a while. So I'll be running all of this together.
We have faith in you.
That's the only update I have.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Teddy bear. That be no nickname? Is it Theo? Teddy?
Yeah.
Is she gone? Did she say?
No, she hasn't said it. I mean, I haven't spoken to her, it's just texting, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very cool.
that's
I'm
exciting.
glad everyone's
Yeah.
healthy and safe.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, on to regular meeting items. The council adopted capital improvement plan, the big spreadsheet.
So, I don't know if there's too much that we want to talk about here at this stage. I wanted to get this in front of you. You did say as a
Yes.
session that you wanted to see it. I waited till it was approved by the council, so we had the actual document. And there's a couple of, I think we put the whole CIP in there, and then there's one that's marked up, which is basically my cheat sheet, which is a summary for parks and that kind of thing.
Perfect.
So if you have questions now, I can try and answer them. If you have comments, that would be, you can take those as well.
Just so you guys are aware also, we're having a work session on this specifically to really look at 2028, because if you get back into that 2028 year, it's ugly.
Okay. Do you know when that work session is going to be?
I thought that was later this month also.
I think it's before that second meeting. I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think it's later this month.
Is there any larger projects that's not outlined in here as we go through it that were?
The only one that would come in play, and it's still a little bit down the road, is what happens with the Maple Grove water deal. Our contract with them expires in 2036.
Sure.
So depending on what happens with that, either we renew the contract at a new number, and that new number could get very ugly, or we look at trying to do a system of our own, which also is not real pleasant, but I mean, it's better than going, well, I shouldn't say that. It's possibly better than going with Maple Grove. They're contemplating, and I don't know if they've changed their talk, that they would add soft water to their system. And that would increase water costs to everybody
Right.
drastically. If that happened, then we'd be better off going with our own system.
And that would be for the grander picture when Dayton's fully built out, it would support that. It wouldn't just be a smaller one.
Well, it would be for the south end.
Yeah.
It would be just for the south end.
And I think there's some costs for them to add wells and stuff to
Right.
build, to supply us to our full capacity of build out in that area. So they would be drilling the wells, we would be paying them to drill those wells, and it would be on their system.
Water is a big ticket here.
It's a big
so
ticket. It's 30 to 50 million bucks.
Just for the south end.
Yeah.
Seems kind of narrow-sighted, but it's just my opinion. We want to support it all. Okay. No, that is a big ticket. All right, Marty, walk us through.
Right, so on my cheat sheet, which is what I'm going to work from, we'll start at the top at Fund 404. There's some garbage cans. We've been putting in new garbage cans similar to the ones out the front here. We've got a program that's been going on for a couple of years here, and we're just going to keep doing that until we get the good garbage cans in all of the parks and they all match. So we got that 15,000 a year out to 2029.
With the garbage cans, what about pet waste stations?
We do those through a different company. We're doing those along with the bags and stuff, so we would do that. It's not as an expensive thing, and we can do those as we go on. This, we are replacing existing, where we've got all the blue barrels that are just stuck out there. We want to put something in that's permanent in place and that is user-friendly for my operators to go in and take the bags out and not get, full of water and wasps and all that good stuff. So we've got the ones that are out here fulfill that need very well and makes it easier for my guys to do their job.
Sure.
We do have, do you want me to go all the way through this, or do you just want to look at the next couple of years, or? what are you thinking?
Well, let's go walk us through your cheat sheet here. Obviously, we
All
have
right.
time this evening, so.
Okay, so the park signage, we've been looking at this. We need to look at the branding. There's been some discussion about the way the branding looks and if we want to change that. And I think that's something that we're going to be discussing in January with the council to see what they want to do, if they want to change. The feeling is that I think that the swoosh looks a little bit like toothpaste. So,
He says it how it is.
and that was been there for, since we brought this branding out. It was one of the things that was mentioned, and still we chose it anyway. So
Sure.
we need to figure out what we want to do with that. I'm going to be pulling a document together to present to council to see where we want to go. Because obviously, if we change the branding, then the signage has to represent the branding.
Right.
So, and we've already invested quite a bit in some of the branding stuff. Anyway, so we have got some money in there for park signage. That's just earmarking money. Once we get the new branding, I will get some hard costs for those, particular signage. We do have a full signage inventory laid out of all the different size signs, what their uses are, from wayfaring signs to the bigger signs like we have at the city entrances and stuff like that.
Sure.
So we would get pricing on the new branding against all those sign sizes, and then we'll see where we go for, what goes where.
So question on that. You brought up the city entrance signs and stuff. Are you talking just like the city of Dayton with the population signs, or are you talking the ones on the side of the road that say, like the one by Quick Trip is a lot nicer than the one coming in from Maple Grove?
Yeah, it's more like the one coming in off the interchange. That's the
Okay.
style. That's the style of the branding
Okay.
that we are currently using, and all these will be scaled down versions of that. Some with like landscaping around the bottom, some lit, some single-sided, some double-sided. We've got all kinds of different signage, and if you guys are interested, I can email you the signage information if you're interested.
Why not?
Okay.
Give Marty something to do.
Get the most out of our M365 license.
So how long have we had this brand?
That brand, 2019.
That's not that old.
Almost 10 years old. Okay.
What
Am
is
I the only one
typical
that-
for most cities to rebrand? Is it
Depends on
15,
Well,
20?
we've rebranded
100.
3 times since I've been here.
Yeah.
We had the original one with the silo, and then there was the one with the tree by the river, and then there was this one. Realistically, I think a branding, personally, in my experience, a branding should last 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking. It seems like,
Because it's a big
It's not my
investment. onto
prerogative,
Once you
but-
get on your water tower and the big sign down by.
Yeah.
the
yeah,
entrance,
it's a
and then
big,
all the-
It's hundreds of
it's-
thousands to
it's
rebrand,
a huge
right?
It
cost.
can be, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
we're trying to pay for Elsie Stevens. It'd be nice to.
we'll discuss that with the council and stuff, and I think it's something that we need to settle on and move forward. And
Sure.
with branding and stuff, it's always a personal choice. And so,
Without question, some of the city, coming into the city, those
For
need
sure.
to be changed too, probably. It's just that how much money are you gonna spend?
yep.
I like the old brown signs.
What?
Those things are classic.
They are.
Yeah, classic.
The 2 brown signs are fantastic.
I've been wondering since we moved here if those would ever get changed, but it is
I
classic.
think it's kind of
cute.
awesome.
They are awesome, but they are way worn, a couple of them I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
what we would do, we would salvage those and keep them somewhere in a historic society place or something like that. Maybe somewhere at Stevens we could purpose them there or something like that. But
Basically, what you're telling us is our sweatshirts are limited edition right now.
Well, yeah,
and
they could be.
we will-
They could be.
Could
It could be a collector item.
potential,
Yeah, exactly,
potential
that's
to be
what
a
I'm saying.
throwback, yeah.
Yeah,
All right, moving on.
moving on. And then we have a few items here for a tree nursery that we've been looking at Public Works for a few years now. It's starting to become more of a need. Trees in the parks, we need to replace them frequently, and with the emerald ash borer coming through town, we've got a lot of trees that we're going to be replacing with that. I've been researching a bunch of grants with Hennepin County and the University of Minnesota and the DNR. There are grant programs out there that will help fund the majority of the cost for these. It will start with a tree survey, which I'm hoping to get done this year, which is grant funded. That won't be every tree in the city, it will be on public land. That's what we'll look at for that. I don't know if it will encroach into the Three Rivers Park District yet. I would have to coordinate that and see where that goes. Work
good
with Three
forward
Rivers on
thinking.
that. So there's that. Then 2028, the tree nursery is, we got 60,000 in 2027 next year that will be grant funded to set up the nursery. We would be putting a well. We've identified a site down by Public Works for that tree nursery to go in. We had Hennepin County forester out to take a look at the site, and he thought it was a great site for it. We're probably going to have two things going on there. We'll have some gravel beds for bringing in new bare root stock. What we don't use that year, we will put into our actual nursery and grow it out from there. So it would be just an evolving thing. We would like to be planting 2-inch trees wherever we can. And it's going to take us a while to work out what inventory we need to have on hand and stuff. So there may be a little while where we're still buying trees. But the production costs on a tree from our own nursery would be about $75, whereas we're buying trees at $400 each at the moment. So it makes sense to do this. And we can get the tree stock funded from grant money as well.
Okay.
And that's pretty
have
much.
you heard about the U of M research where they found a way to a fungus that kills emerald ash borers?
Yeah,
Is that
I've heard a little bit about
treatment at all something that would be viable for?
I don't know. I don't know enough
Or
about
too
it, and
far
it
gone?
depends on when you catch the
Yeah,
bug
I
in
think
the
it
tree.
probably
If
is.
the tree's too far gone,
Yeah.
the fungus isn't going to catch up
Fair.
with it. So it might be an early stage, just like the tree injections that they have at the moment. You have to catch it really early.
Yeah.
But I haven't done enough digging into it. I'm aware of it, but I don't know the exact.
I just read the brief, but yeah, it sounds cool. So I didn't know if there was talks.
The only other thing other than tree stock for nursery and stuff in here is Diamond Lake Diamonds improvements. This is down by the old public workshop there. We talked about this, I believe.
Yeah, last meeting.
CDAA are going to help us with some funding for that, to renovate that to make it a usable field.
2 ball fields or just one?
One
Okay.
ball field, because that's for the age range that we can only accommodate the one for the size of the field
The
required.
size of the property is fairly limited for the field that can fit, but I think it was 2 youth soccer fields and then 1 H12 ball field.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Love it. Do you envision that actually starting in 2026?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to try and get a design, some design work done on it, and we'll see what we can get done for 2026. It might be some limited stuff down there, but it's stretching across, till 2029, so it's going to be a phase thing. There might be
Right.
some stuff that we can get done this year.
And you have a building and the admin side. Yep, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, so it's, the final completion out there is 28, 29 is when that cold storage building will go away, and we can extend the field down a little bit and extend the fence line out that way. So it will be a phased approach.
Thanks.
That's all from the Fund 404. Fund 405 is pretty much similar stuff that's been on here for a significant amount of time. There's purchased land for community park. That's at $150,000. We've been doing that for a number of years. Phase 2 of the Sundance, which is basically the ball field and some big open space on the area on Sundance Greens and DCM Farms. Once we get that land turned over to us, we will put that in. There'll be a bit of irrigation and stuff in there to expand what we've already put in there. But that is scheduled for this year. It depends on when we get that land deeded over to us. And then we had the 1.75 million in there for Elsie Stevens. And what it's marked down here as Bandshell and additional parking. It's probably going to be a little bit more than that. I'm looking at some of the initial stuff. Then we've got some numbers in here that I'm not sure are going to work there, but Stevens Phase 4 is at 27 for 8 million.
Skip the building.
And Phase 5 is, we've got the other Phase 5, Phase 6 there at 1.75 and 1 million in 2029. And then there's some numbers in here for construction of Phase 1 and Phase 2 of Community Park, but they're just placeholders at this stage. We don't even know where we're going to find the land, but we want to be prepared for something if it does fall in our lap, and we want to be able to react to it. So we want to put some money in the budget if it's at all possible.
Before we move on, Scott, if you don't mind me asking, how does the council feel about these placeholders for a large community park like that? Are we in favor of it, or is the
Oh, I
dream starting
think,
to die
yeah, I
off?
think once a guy finds the land, I mean, there are a couple of parcels out there that, ideally, there's one that I think could work, but with the possible interchange, or Zanzibar getting turned into a major road, then it maybe doesn't work, because it's kind of split up. The $8 million building at Stevens Park is kind of a questionable deal. To me, that's a little steep. Now, you could build a building. A brick building is going to be more money than, way more money than the wood building.
Mm-hmm.
Like my building down there, I'm sure you could build that building anywhere for 1.5, 2 million bucks. Would certainly build it.
Is there any sort
Is
of
that adequate? I don't know if that's adequate. I don't know. For me, it would be, but
Yeah.
Is there any sort of estimate on what ROI might look like for the use of the building and rentals and
oh,
everything?
no
and
numbers
how-
have been tossed around.
Okay.
No, I think
I don't know what kind of value we even get out of the community center we have now. I have no idea what,
Yeah, I mean,
we've never talked about it.
the community centre that we use now is rented out quite a lot and stuff like that. So it does bring in some revenue. I think it probably breaks even at this stage, but we're not charging a premium price for that
Right.
place. So
But then again, as Dayton, I mean, continues to grow, we're going to continue to have more housing, more people, more everything. I mean, we do have to build up for the fact that we're not going to be the small town we are at this current state. So, looking at the big numbers is important, I think, right now. And, like you said, yeah, it might be okay for you, but as we continue to grow, will it be okay for the next growth and the next growth and the next growth, and making sure that we're building for what is going to happen in 2035 is important to look at, so.
I think there's, in what we're looking at for now, we're talking about running water bathroom. What can we build? What does 300,000-400,000 build for a bathroom? I have no idea. Number one, we don't have running.
yeah, I think the
good running
majority of
water
the
there.
cost there is actually
Right.
getting the water and the sewer to the site. That's where the expense is.
Do you do that now, or do you put in a tank? There's
Yeah.
probably enough water there for a sink, but not for a full-fledged building
Right.
facility.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those things I think will come
We
out
gotta
in.
hash that out.
Yeah, I think some of that information will be in the end of January meeting. MSA will bring some of those ideas in, with what they think about water and the bathroom situation and some styles for that and stuff like that.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks for the info.
So is that, where do we move to now? Fund 406. This is just a fund that was set up a couple of years ago to start replacing existing playgrounds and stuff as they become need to be replaced. Which playground has generally got a 25-year life cycle. Just generally, it becomes a safety issues generally with those type of things. So we outlined, based on when parks and playgrounds went in, where their replacement date is, and put in again, a placeholder number, just so we have something in there and we're aware that that is coming up. And that might change if we go down there and do an inspection on them and see that, you know, they're in good shape. Maybe we can push it out for 5 years, whatever. But I think it's good to have something in
Yeah,
the CIP.
you need to be
and
prepared.
knowing that there is going to be that cost somewhere. So that's what 406 is. Those are the playgrounds that we've identified. And then there's a trail development Fund 408. We have the water trails information on here for 2026. That's the one at Historic Village. We still need to do the one at LC Stevens. That's going to be happening this year. For some reason, that's not on my cheat sheet here. It might be on the CIP sheet.
Okay.
But the one at the Historic Village is the DNR landing that they're paying for totally themselves. We're working with them. That's probably not going to talking with them today. They're probably not looking at building until 2027 now. That's probably going to slide out a year the way it's looking. And then we're looking at doing something with Three Rivers Park District at Gooding Park. They've got a significant grant of $550,000 or something in that region. We'll have some action funds, and I think that will be generally funds left over from our National Park Service grant and from the federal funding that we got for the water trails. So we'll push that into help get something there at Gooding Park. There's also another opportunity from the National Park Service to get alternative funding. So we're going to apply for that, which might help us get a bridge across the ravine down there that will link Gooding Park into the Three Rivers Park District property there. So we're going to explore that. And then further out, we're looking at the trails we've discussed in the past and where they're fitting into the schedule now. The Territorial Road from Territorial Trail to Rush Creek Parkway, that's scheduled for 2028. Trail along Fernbrook Lane, Rush Creek Parkway, 2028. And some of these are city funded. The one along Fernbrook Lane and Rush Creek Parkway is going to be a city-funded project. Trail construction on Pineview along Dayton River Road. That's going to be City and Three Rivers Park District. Berkshire Lane to 140th Avenue. Again, that's in 2029. That's 350,000. That might be part of the realignment of Dayton River Road, the Hennepin County project. We're going to try and work that. They're talking about putting a roundabout in there, which will influence where we run that trail along, just to get a good, safe access point.
Is that the only one that's county dependent?
No, the one from 142nd all the way down to Stevens.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be county, and Hennepin County and Three Rivers Park District are going to be doing that one. And that again will be all the ones in 2029, a county Three Rivers Park District, apart from the one section from Berkshire Lane to 140th.
So if the county shifts their schedule, that shifts our schedule.
Yeah, but they're pretty firm about that 2028, 2029 window for doing their project. So it's in their CIP, and generally once it's in the CIP, that's where it sits, and that's when it gets done.
Okay.
Cool. So that's all the stuff I have on my cheat sheet there, basically related to Park Commission information.
I will add the comment I made about 2028, you know, what we're going
Please
to
do.
look at for that. A lot of the park stuff, it may not really adhere to, because park money is not tied to the levy, per se. Now, what will change that number this year, it's drastically dropped, is our growth. There's been a huge decline in building. I mean, I don't think we're going to get 200 this year, for 2025. I don't think we did we?
No.
Yeah. So that really is going to affect how much money goes into that park fund too.
Mhm.
So,
Okay. On this next sheet, Marty, you want to walk us through some of these park department equipment purchases?
Is that the equipment sheet you're looking at?
Yes, capital equipment 401.
401, yeah. Okay, where are we at?
Just the park-related stuff.
All righty, what do we got here? It's been so long since I looked at
Audio-visual equipment, 10 grand.
that. Is an upgrade for the activity centre that may or may
sure.
not happen.
Nice. But might not happen.
It may not happen because we looked at the stuff that we've got down there and the usage of the equipment down there. I don't think, we did a few upgrades on it last year, and I think it will suffice as the way it operates at the moment. So I'm not expecting that to actually happen.
Did you do like hardware upgrades or
It was-
more system upgrades?
It was some system upgrades and some hardware
Nice.
upgrades.
Yeah, if it keeps working.
So I think that, that will probably slide out a little bit. And the renters that using it don't use the projector and the screen and that so much. It's more for HOAs or when we have presentations down there. And we're not getting those kind of rentals at the moment. People want to play music from their iPhone, so we set it up that way. Or they want to just run a slideshow from their laptop or something like that. So we invested in some of that software and
Nice.
to make that happen.
Good.
So 2025, well, what we got?
Broom truck.
That's all already done.
Okay.
So moving on to 26, we got a replacement mower and a replacement of a utility trailer. And I think the utility trailer that's we're going to be replacing is older than, it's been here since I've been here, so it's old.
Nice.
Not as old as me, but it's old.
doesn't owe us anything then.
Say again?
Doesn't owe us anything.
No, it doesn't. No. We got a life out of that guy.
So, can I just ask why some is in red and some is in black? Is there?
They're either been moved.
The red
There's a
has been
second
moved.
sheet here
I was just.
that should have all the information on there. Generally, it's a new item or it's been moved along the schedule. So it might have been further out, it might have been in 2029, and we need it now because the old mower's getting beat up so bad that we have to change it. So that's why it's in red. It's so the council know that it's either a new item or it's something that's moved around.
Okay, thanks. I was just curious if I needed to.
No.
No.
Good question. Okay. And then 2027, we have a new utility tractor with a V-plow and blower. We already have one of those that we're using on a lot of the trails. With the more trails that we're getting, we're going to need a second one to help us with that. That goes all across town, all the way down to the interchange and does the trails down there as well. So that thing covers a lot of ground. And the more trails we're putting in, the more usage we're going to get out of that thing.
For sure.
And it's not just used for snow blowing and that. It's used through the summer for mowing. We do have a mower for the back of that, and also fertilizing and all that good stuff. So it's got multiple purposes.
One of the ones I see is the replaced 1999 mower. We still have a mower from 1999.
We sure do.
Wow.
It's a good mower.
It's probably the best running one you have in the fleet.
It's not. People don't like to ride it anymore.
Yeah, it's probably not the
Bumpy.
most.
It's a zero turn as well, and it's not very tight, and so it's basically at the moment it's kind of a backup machine. But we need to have something that's reliable even as a backup machine.
That's awesome.
And
When I
now
saw
we-
this on the Excel, I'm like, is that a typo? 1999 sounds like a really old piece of machinery, so.
yeah,
Classic.
and it's just things that we're playing catch up where we've been putting off buying stuff over the years. So we're trying to, across the fleet, we've been doing that with all the public works vehicles and pickups and stuff. We do actually have, I think, a 1990 Chevy utility truck still in service. So that's going to be replaced here. And so where were we? And then there's, basically, it's a lot of replacement equipment, replacement mower. The 2012 6-inch mower will be getting replaced there for 25 grand in 27. Field marking equipment. We have one of the paint stripe. We currently have 2 paint stripers, one in the old village for marking down there, and one up here for this complex down here for the soccer fields and the ball fields up here. The one in the old village is, again, been here since I've been here, and so it needs to be replaced. We will take the one from up here, move that down to the old village, and then bring a new one up here.
Okay.
And then
You wouldn't have to go much into 2028, in my eyes, unless you guys want to hear more about
No.
28 and the use and
No.
boning.
I'm more interested in 26, 27.
Same.
okay. And I think we got a one-ton pickup with a plow package, which is a replacement vehicle. And we're looking at getting a garbage box for when we pick up the garbage, rather than having to pick it up, put it into another container, put that one back, then bring it here, and then dump it into the big dump here, the big roll-off box here. We can just dump it into the back of a pickup, and that compact it, and then we can just unload that straight into the dumpster.
Sure,
So it's just cleaner for my guys and more efficient.
makes sense. The next sheet, you want to go through our current cash balance.
That's
I
not
think
really
that's
my area of forte there, but this is you're moving into Zach area, or Scott probably help on this one.
It's just important for the team to know that where our monies are all at.
Yeah.
Are you referencing the page 15, the 404? Or what are you referencing?
No,
Dave?
there was one in our handout labeled cash balance.
So page.
Had the blue highlights in it. I don't know if that's included in your printouts.
Oh, that's,
I don't see it.
No, I don't see it either, Marty.
I think currently that park fund has about 1.8 in it.
yeah. It's got that 1.8 currently, yeah.
In the printout,
Yeah.
404 development, you had 167,000. The dedication in 405, you had 2,068,000. CIP was blank, and then the trail fund had 1.633. But again, it wasn't in your big page handout.
I'm struggling to find out. What page is that on, David?
Well, that's low.
It was on page 8 of the packet that was emailed to us, 7, 8, I guess. But it's marked 9.
Yeah, I don't think anything got printed. That's my guess. It did? Just didn't get printed?
Actually, it was 9. Cash fund balance is labeled 10.
We printed out the bigger version so it's easier for you to read, and I guess we probably missed that sheet.
Yeah. You can share with Brad.
So what was your question, David?
I just wanted to walk through the numbers. Unfortunately, everybody doesn't have it here in front of them, but just to verify that our dedication had the 2,068,000. Is that correct? And
I
that's
think that-
where the majority of a lease is gonna come from, the 1.5 or 1.7?
Yeah,
Okay. Other than the trails that then are 1.6 million?
the trousers are totally separate.
Right,
yeah.
yep, I get that. Okay. And then 167 for development. What is our plan with our development fund? That's 404. At the big picture, I just wanted everybody to understand what our funds were going into it.
67.
Did we have any plans for things coming out of the 404?
It looks like it's just 167, 323, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Is that where
isn't-
the trash and recycling stuff is
That's what I
coming
was
out?
Fund
gonna say.
404 is the trash
That's
and
what this-
recycling park
and the
signage.
tree, The construction of the trees.
And tree nursery stuff
Fantastic.
from Fund 404.
Right.
Only 25
So-
this year.
So they're not, 2026 is 25,000 that we're spending, 27 is 85, 28 is 65,000 from that fund 404.
Got it. So Marty, does it essentially, as those dollars are allocated, do we just push them on to the next year? Like we're.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we don't use
Does
it in
everybody
that
get
year,
that?
it
So like
stays in
it's
the fund.
in the fund in the 404 for 2026, we've got about 167,000. But the actual plan for this year is probably going to be 15 to 40,000. So we'll spend some of it, but the rest will carry over and go into
It'll just stay in the
27. Because in 27, we've got 100,000 in potential
Yep.
spend, 28, 105,000. So it just
So-
stays in that
Yeah,
spot.
it stays in that fund. Any money that comes in through development will just stay there and get pushed over.
And the development funding comes from our developers?
Yes.
correct? Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And that's not just for residential, that is for commercial as well. They have to pay park fees and stuff in there as well.
Nice. I like it. I know it was ad hoc, but does anybody have questions on our budget, where we're at for monies as we go into 26, looking at projects in 27? No? Oh,
Can the committee?
fantastic.
Thank you.
So, right, that's me off the hot spot.
For now, we'll come up with something for sure.
Thank you for going over that.
Thank you, Marty.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
All right, item C, the park studies, Mr. John.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this idea is, kind of came up with a few different challenges. So one of the challenges that the Park Commission is aware of that we face with finding park facilities and anything more sports facilities is there's a fast increase in land costs that makes it difficult to buy or build anything. So essentially, we are saving money for purchasing land and building out parks, but we're not saving enough fast enough, or I should say that the land values are increasing faster than what we can save. We've had conversations with some other cities as far as different ideas go. I know Champlin is in the process of doing a park facilities study, a much larger park facilities study than what we're looking at. And it kind of brought to the question of when we're trying to figure out, okay, how much land do we need and what facilities do we need, kind of starts with what facilities do we have now that are currently being used. As it relates to sports facilities, we have three different kind of umbrella youth sports facilities associations that are, that are available for Dayton residents. So both the Champlin Dayton Athletic Associations, and then also in the Maple Grove and Rogers area has multiple youth athletic associations specific to the sport. So generally, like in the case of CDAA, it is open for any resident within Champlin or Dayton or the Champlin Park attendance area, which also includes portions of Brooklyn Park. Assuming that if you're in the Maple Grove area, these rules are probably the same. Same thing with Rogers. And so you start coming into this very big umbrella. Marty, I don't know if we have a picture on.
Which one? Is that the one you sent me?
Yep.
That one?
Nope.
That one?
Yes, so, well, if you go back to the first one, I guess. So this is a map of the three park district, or I should say, the three school districts on the Hennepin County side for Anoka, Hennepin, Osseo, and Rogers. I should say Rogers, Elk River, which includes Rogers. Then Marty, if you go to the next map. These little red blips are kind of my attempt to identify where there are sports facilities within the three high school attendance areas of Champlain Park, Maple Grove, and Rogers. You know, so there's kind of a hole in Dayton and in North Maple Grove. The question that I have that nobody has an answer to is wanting to do an inventory of what facilities are the different associations using. So for instance, you know, we can look at certain national metrics and say, okay, for a city the size of Dayton, theoretically, we should have so many ball fields and so many soccer fields and all that. But when you look at what's actually being used, it might be that maybe Maple Grove has more soccer fields than what they actually need, meaning Dayton doesn't need to build as many. And the same might be reverse for baseball or softball fields. So the idea here is, in considering how much you know, the land values are increasing, we don't want to build facilities that are not going to get used. We want to build facilities that are going to be used, I'm going to say heavily, but essentially efficiently. So that begins by doing a inventory study in conversations with some of the park and rec directors in the other surrounding cities. No one's done this before. So this is new. I want to be clear, this is going outside of just the Dayton boundary. This is, you know, the surrounding cities that are open, that have facilities that may be used by Dayton residents, even though it's outside the Dayton city limits.
Will they be helping pay for this?
No. Now, granted, we've not asked either. It's a fairly labor-intensive process of essentially just calling up or emailing the different athletic associations and getting their schedule. And then you start creating a map of what is being used and when and where are they short on fields. So that kind of paints the picture of kind of where we're at within the RFP or the draft RFP. We're looking for data for the last 3 years, preferably the last 10 years, but my guess is that's probably going to be much harder to find the older data. So that's kind of the first step, is to do an inventory, figure out what we have to work with, and the second part is what do we need for the future, and what are certain thresholds where we should be building certain facilities at what point. So, you know, for instance, if we hit, you know, right now we're around 11,000 people, so, you know, theoretically we should have, I think, 8 ball fields, and we don't have 8. You know, once we hit 15, how many do we need? Once we hit 20,000, what do we need? But then looking back at the inventory of, okay, well, here's sort of the checks and balances of, you know, maybe the metrics is we need 10 of something, but we can make do with 8, or we actually need 14. You know, how do you justify those?
Can I ask where you got your resources on that?
On
those numbers specifically for ball fields versus heads?
That's from the National Recreation and Park Association.
So I did look on my own, you know, and they were saying one ball field for 4,064 people, which is a little bit different than the 8 that we currently have, soon to be 9. So I would question the numbers and the math there.
Sure, and that's just one example. So within the NRPA, there's kind of a low and high and a median. I can't remember what I stuck out with it, but that's just one example. So.
Sure. Okay. So you're looking for us to then approve moving forward with an RFP for a study not only in Dayton, but also Maple Grove, Champlain, and Rogers, the fields we use.
It would cover essentially the athletic associations that serve Dayton residents.
I guess my concern there would be spending Dayton funding on areas outside of the city of Dayton. But that's not for me to clarify, that's legal, and the council to approve at some point, I'm sure, as well. Okay. Anybody have any questions or thoughts you'd like to share?
I personally like the idea of looking outside of just our city boundaries, because why build, an ice rink if Rogers has one 10 feet away from us? So finding out where people are needing the things, if we don't need, to build another baseball field, but we need 20 more soccer fields, and that might bring in more people to visit our community. I think that's a good thing. I personally agree that, looking forward, and I think what you're doing here is a great piece to find that puzzle.
I agree looking outside of the city makes sense. I don't necessarily see it as like an issue that it's other communities, especially since you're considering it to be like the athletic associations that serve Dayton, so that to me makes sense.
I guess my concern is just cost. Do you have any clue what a study like this, what kind of cost are we talking about? I just would hate to spend the money on a huge study that then we don't ever have the means to do anything with it, because then we've just wasted that money.
Sure. I don't know what the
so-
cost is. I guess I'm going to say, is there certain costs that the Park Commission is comfortable with? My general thought is it's going to be somewhere between 10 and 30,000. Probably closer to 30.
And where would the funding come
And
from?
it would come out of parks,
Just the general
right?
fund, the general park
The
fund?
404, I think, would have to be.
404?
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that yet.
Sure.
I
yeah.
didn't know what the number was going to be. But it
Couldn't be
would,
trail,
no, it won't be trail, it won't be park dedication either.
it'd have to be the 404 then.
Yeah.
And otherwise, that money is being saved up for things, was kind of what we were discussing
Well,
before,
it's
right?
for the
Well, yeah, kind of
trees
just kick
and-
the can.
Yeah.
But then,
I guess this has been, 2 to 3 years now of the conversation of where are we going to go with fields. And my opinion is that, we've thrown out, is it a 10 million, is it a 20, is it a 50, right? What is it actually? And my opinion would be that if the goal of this is to get us that information, or can get us, what do we need, what are the actual costs, et cetera, it'd be worth it just from that standpoint of 10 to 30,000 could tell us, you know what, we're not going for the big deal. Like, it's just not going to happen here. I think I'd rather have that than, try to go spend years and years trying to push for the $50 million field, and we don't actually have what it takes to do the 50. So I guess my opinion is like, yes, it is 10 to 30,000 that we don't necessarily have, but it's saving us it could potentially save us a lot in the long term, and it gives us some more focus of the long term of what we should do. Otherwise, I feel like we'll just keep having the same conversation with CDA, like, what do you have? What do you have? Where do you want? No one has, and again, like I told Rick, I'm like, I'd love to find out like a way to make this all work, but we need more information. And in my opinion, after reading this and I think that this might get us where we want to go. And even if it's spending money now to save money later, that to me is worth it.
Have we talked to other cities about like if they've done any assessments
They have
similar
not.
to
They
this?
haven't, yeah.
not. Okay, so,
And I think that's why it's worth it, in my opinion, just because it's giving us a better understanding of not just us, but the whole community. And, you look at like what Rogers just built, right? Okay, well, how much of our Daytonians will be using the Rogers Fieldhouse? Well, that'd be good information to figure out, because then there's maybe something that we don't need. So we spend the money now on the research side of it to not have to spend in the potential build in the future.
Is there a number we want to tie to this for the study? Say, don't exceed 25,000, 20,000, 15,000?
I guess, well, first of all, is everyone on board with it? Because that's what, from John, what you had asked is, the role of the Park Commission is recommended approval of the RFP request. So where do the five of us stand with moving forward with this RFP? Like, do we want to do this, or do we think that it's not a good use of our funds? That's kind of where you're at, right? Like,
Yes, I mean, if, kind of a simple yes or no, no being you don't want to, this is a waste of time, just quit working on this.
One question I do have is, with the study, are we going to link how many of our Daytonians are going to these other places then? So we will have a better number of,
That's-
Rogers Hockey has 25 kids in it, let's say.
I would like, so that's a question that I want to answer. The challenge with that is, I don't know if the organizations keep track of that. They'll have addresses, but as you're aware, not everyone in Dayton has a Dayton address. So I'm thinking it will probably be pretty skewed.
Regardless, I think it is a good thing that we're looking at. I would rather have us spend $30,000, $50,000, even if it were to be that expensive. Don't make it that expensive, obviously. But I would rather have us spend that now and find out that we don't need to build another baseball field for a 5-year-old, but we need to build a soccer field for something else. I'd rather have us have a good picture of where that roadmap is going to be, so that way we can look more in the future and figure out where we need to be, not just as a community, but for the kids that we have in our community as well, and to bring people in.
Because the demographics will change.
Yes.
John, with this, are you thinking of kind of then forming a 2030 needs, 2040 needs, 2050 needs? Is that kind of where your mindset is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I think that this is what we've been looking for.
Yeah,
When we've had our
that's
conversation with Rick, I just want to have more information for him, and it's
Yeah.
like, we say we're at 11,000 right now, and we think by 2050, we're going to get to, what was the number? Was it 40 to 60, somewhere in there?
We should have a built-out population somewhere between 45 and 55,000. I have no idea how many years it's going to take to get there. It might be 100 years.
Right. And that is the question, right? Is like, when do we achieve those? Because if we want to make this investment, at least if we do this front work, my opinion is I'm for this, and the reason why is we do this and we keep this around and pass it on to future commissions. This is the 2030, 2040, 2050, 2060 plan, and it's also based on population X, population Y, population Z. It just gives us a better foundation for where we go forward, so that we don't continually have the same conversations over and over again, you know what I mean? Because it's like, hey, we did the groundwork on this, and here's what we've done. This is everything we've, John and his team did all the research here. So that'd be my opinion. I guess, we could talk in circles here, but like, my opinion would be I'm for this. I don't know where everyone else feels, but
We could take a vote.
you want to do a vote?
I do have one other question. Obviously, things are going to be changing throughout the years. What would be the expectation for you to get this updated in the future? Like, how often are you going to be wanting to revisit it? Because once again, that will add
Sure.
another cost in the future.
I mean, realistically, so maybe it's every 5 years, but I mean, that's just throwing a number out.
Okay. Cool.
And Marty, you have grant money for that tree nursery stuff locked down for it, so even though it's in the 404 fund, it's really not being taken off our overhead. Okay. Let's take a vote. All in favor?
Do we?
Aye.
Yeah, aye.
So going down the line, or no? We're just all of
No,
us?
just all of us,
Okay,
it's fine,
yeah.
it's kind of informal vote.
Sure.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All right,
Cool.
everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
And with that, are we setting a budget of 20K, 30K, or do we want to check in on it, or how do you guys want to handle it?
Not to,
So we usually do like an RFP for these kinds of
It is.
things?
So the way it's written right now is we're pushing it out to consultants, and it's up to, they're going to provide a response and a budget based on what we're asking for. From some conversations with consultants, it'd be helpful for them if we had a budget. So if we said 30,000 is our budget, but we're actually asking for $50,000 worth of work. then the question becomes, what do we cut back on? And I guess what I'm probably going to be looking at is we're not cutting back on anything. We're bringing in volunteers to do some of the work, some of the legwork of contacting associations.
Sure. I would like to set a not to exceed amount.
Not to exceed 30,000?
I was gonna say 25, to be honest with you, but.
If you give them an amount, they're gonna spend the amount.
Yep.
But I'd
That's
rather
why we asked
have,
for 50,000 worth of work.
but I would rather have an accurate, good data point than, we could find some college kid to do it for free. Doesn't mean that it's going to be as good of a study, and I'd rather have the good data behind, especially when we're looking at spending millions of dollars in the future, and the 30,000 could be,
Well, I'd be looking at the Park Commission for volunteers.
yeah.
Okay. Marty, John, Scott, what would you guys say roughly? Do you think 20 to 30 sounds reasonable?
I'm the wrong guy to ask about studies, I hate them. I would rather
Okay.
make a decision myself and do it. That's all my life, that's how I've done it.
But then again, we would have 50,000 baseball fields then, so do we really need a
I talked to this person and they
Fine, we'll have a 50,000
They want a
pheasants
baseball
running
field, so
around.
just keep building them.
I'll go with between 20 and 30,000.
I would, I mean, you could even,
I would throw it out there and just see what you get.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
I agree with that approach, because you can always trim it back down from what they bring into you. I mean, you don't accept, what they bring back to you. It's their proposal, and if you want to negotiate with them, then you can bring it down to a price point that you're comfortable
I
with.
promise you, if you put a $25,000 number on it, you might get a $18,000 study for $25,000.
John, is it possible to?
Go ahead, Karen.
Go ahead.
Is it possible to loop in with this a study or additional information on the grants that are available for this? Because I know that was one of the questions that we've had when we've talked with Rick is like, what does this look like?
Sure.
Like,
So if we were going to go after a grant, it would probably take a year to go through, and it's not worth waiting that long to do it. This is a fairly simple study.
yep. I guess my question though is like, is there a way to find out what grants are actually available? Because I feel like every time we've had this conversation, it's nobody really knows. Like
Sure.
realistically, if it is a $50 million complex that we need, and we do have the land available some point, is that 20 million in a levy, 20 million from CD? Where's it all
Right,
coming from,
right.
right? Where's it all coming from? The grants.
So that could be part of it. I'm going to say kind of a part two. I mean, I'd like to get that out of the study. I don't think we will for 30,000 of kind of the answer of what is it going to cost to build certain types of facilities in 2026 dollars. So, is a ball field $1 million or is it $100,000?
Yeah.
And I think that as we go through this, there's going to be a lot of other opportunities that present themselves.
Yeah.
As we start building this thing out, as we have different businesses come to town, and our population grows, that opens up different grant opportunities for us as well. So I think it's difficult to do that or get all those numbers at this time, but I think that's an ongoing part of the process, is finding those grant funds, and that's what we're doing this all the time. Trying to find new funds that come through.
My only caveat on setting a amount that is not to exceed is we don't fall into the same trap as the
I did the surgery last month.
Okay, we've had a slight technical hitch here, but we're back online now. So Luke, do you want to carry on with your comments?
Yeah, I guess my whole aspect of it is I would like us just to set an amount so that way we don't exceed. And my recommendation would be 30,000 from what you're stating. And that's where I would stand, I guess. Just so that way it's clear for whoever's wanting to make a bid.
Do we have a motion for that?
I move.
That's
the
his motion.
That's your motion?
Yeah, I move to make a limit of 30,000 for this project.
I'll second.
I think it's better just to stick it out there and have them come back to us. I get the budgets when we're actually wanting something more specific, but I agree with the whole fact when you get a bid, everybody should just come with what they feel and what it's worth.
I am in favor of the 30,000 max.
got your three.
All right, let's take a vote then on the 30,000 max. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
All right, three have it. For a max of 30,000.
First time we didn't vote all the same.
I know.
guys.
Well, we don't have that much money in the fund. All right.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you need from us? Okay. Any other business, Marty?
Just the next park commission meeting, it was scheduled for Tuesday the 3rd, but that apparently is a night for a precinct caucus on the February 3rd. I wasn't aware of that, so we need to change that. Whatever works for the majority of you guys.
Can we do a Monday?
We can do the Monday.
The first?
Oh, no, it's Groundhog Day, we can't do that.
The second, I can't
Maybe
do
the
the second.
Does the second or fourth work for anybody? The second is no.
The
for
fourth
these-
works for me.
Fourth
Fourth
works for
works.
me.
Fourth would work for me.
Fourth, Wednesday.
All right.
We all agree again.
Nice work.
Yay, things are back to normal.
It's okay to not.
I know, I'm joking.
It is funny though how often yeah.
We all agree.
All right, with that, I would call for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I move the motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, meeting adjourned.